actually, welcome, Paulette. I know it's late in the day and I know people are fed up and I know I'm a politician, but hear me out. You're going to love me by the end of it. I swear to God. Right, let me start by saying some of the things that were fed back. I am absolutely blown away because I actually believe things like to take an holistic view, sustainable funding, engagement. If you can't engage organisations, people, nothing gets done. Cultural shift. People talk about prevention. If you can't move the money from the acute sector, you are not going to get prevention to work. So that is absolutely key. They talk about data sharing. We did it during COVID, didn't we? We managed to share a lot of data. What happened since COVID? The barriers went back up and people then seemed to find ways of saying it couldn't happen. Also, technology. Wes has always said one of his three big pillars is around improving the technology within the NHS and the ICSs and around care in itself, because without good technology, nothing happens. And this business of people trying to get up-to-date, effective care, you can't innovate if you can't use the technology that you've got. So I think well done to you guys for drawing out some of the key points. But I'm here to do the closing speech. Then you guys can go home happily and know that you've listened to this boring politician do what she does best. So let me start a little bit about me. Can I just take a moment to say thank you to you all. Thank you for being here. Thank you for your openness. Thank you for your honesty. We absolutely value it. And the discussions, I promise you, I've been writing things down and I will, because we get on extremely well. When I get the stuff back, I will ensure that it's all fed back. And I do get on Wes's nerves. I love him to bits, but honest to God, I do get on his nerves. So believe me when I say it will go up to him. These conversations are actually crucial and it encourages us to see, for me, the enthusiasm in the room and the enthusiasm from the speakers that fed back and the collaboration from all of you guys, it's actually been quite inspiring, because today has not been the best day to be enthusiastic or inspiring, because all we've heard about is cuts. So thank you for that. Little bit about Paulette, if you don't know me. I was a jobbing nurse for 25 years. I actually worked in the community. I was a district nurse. I've got 5 kids. I've got a husband that is long suffering because he never sees me, but he loves me anyway. And I went from nursing, and you know when you've got this burning passion, and as nurses and as clinicians and as managers and as doctors, we always think we're not political, but we are political in every sense of the word, whether it's big P or little p. Always believe you can affect change. What you do out there can affect change, but you have to want to do it. And what I say to people is, if I can do it, you can do it. So I went through my career as a nurse, always thinking I'd get me 34 years in, and then I would retire in the sunset like everybody else. But in the meantime, life happens, and I became a local councillor in between. So I carried on with my nursing, and I was a local councillor. Now, ever since I did my initial training, I was a big mouth. You know, one of these little nurses. I wasn't very tall, but they were always telling me to shut up. I was one of those. So when I went into the local council, I needed that, because I couldn't do the hands-on nurses. I wanted to affect change. So I then went to work, as I climbed in the local authority. I had the brief around health and social care. That took me up to COVID. So I had the lead nationally at the LGA around health and social care. I also had the lead in Birmingham City Council around health and social care. With my passion, and I hope I'm showing it today, with that passion, because you can't tell me what you can't do. Don't come and tell me that you're talking to the wrong person. So when we went through COVID, it was a real opportunity for us to work together and see how the system can remove the barriers at a time when it was so vital. And I saw things happen in less than 3 months that they told me would never happen. But in between, I sat on the STP. Do you remember when Simon Stevens come up with his bright idea about ICBs, ICSs? We thought it would never happen. So I was one of the first local councillors with all the doctors and everybody else to sit on the STPs. Then all of a sudden they told us the name had to change. We then went over to ICSs, then it became ICP stroke ICB with the board, and that's when I left the room. But in that time, I was able to see so much happen because we had this motto: let's try it and then ask for forgiveness if it doesn't work. Sometimes it doesn't work, but you have to be bold enough to try things. And that is what innovation is about. It's about being bold enough to try things, but bringing people along with you. You can be as innovative as you want to be. If people aren't with you, it is not going to happen. So Paulette Hamilton left the ICS and the STP, and blow me down, I went to Parliament. I went into Parliament. I stood by Margaret Thatcher's handbag and I don't know if you've ever gone to Central Lobby. And I thought, this is absolutely wonderful. But at least now I can absolutely trumpet the needs of the NHS in Parliament. Because if you cut me open, I am NHS through and through. If you're from the private sector here, I'm not so with you. But the NHS, I'm absolutely NHS all the way through. So I went into Parliament. So the first thing I said to them, where is the nearest health board? So within a month of going into Parliament, I was sat on the Health Select Committee. Blow me down, I did not know it was as powerful as it is. What we're able to do on the Health Select Committee, we pick the topics that we want to scrutinise, which is everything that is current. We can call in third sector organisations, chief nurses, doctors, major organisations, you name it, the select committee can call them in. And now I'm actually the vice chair of the select committee, which is a really privileged position to be in. At the moment, I know we have some challenging things going on, and I'd love to say more, but I'm learning as you guys are learning, because it's not something that's been discussed with us prior to us, me standing here. But you know something? I know what you guys are like. You will make it work. Whatever it is, we will make it work, and we will continue to deliver high quality care to patients. We will continue to work together to be innovative, to make the changes that are needed out there. But saying that, we'll have a moan on the side, right? The next page. Right now, we've been holding inquiries on things like the 10-year health plan, mental health services, adult social care reform, and such inquiries can result at the end of it in a publication. If you get the opportunity, read the publications. Some of those inquiries are excellent. Sometimes they are left on a shelf, right, where they gather dust. But when they are not on the shelf and people actually use them and see what is being said, it is absolutely valuable. We also have pre-appointment hearings. So any of the big wigs that are getting some of these national roles, like Penny Dash has just been appointed as the chair of NHSE. We will go no further there. And what we do, we have them in to the select select committee, and we will ask them lots of questions. Whether or not they answer the questions, I will move on swiftly. And what we then do, we do then look at, are these people suitable for these roles? It is daunting to come in front of a select committee, but honestly, if you use it to your benefit, it can be quite useful for what you're trying to do. So sometimes if you're doing innovative work in your areas and you think this is something a select committee might want to look at, or you want to be a part of an inquiry, be bold. Write to the select committee, say to them you'd like to come and speak at the committee on something that's going on in your area. Because unless you tell us and unless we know about you, we can't share good practice. And that's what we're about, ensuring that the country knows where the good practice is. So, as I come to an end, I thank you again for inviting me today. And I love the fact that I've been able to hear directly from those of you that are working on the ground. These conversations absolutely matter to me. They mean a lot because it keeps me grounded. Because as somebody that is not in the health service anymore, because my title is former nurse, but I just wish I had kept up with my number. But with everything else I do, sometimes you've got to let things slip. But when it comes to nurses, when it comes to health professionals, no, I will always be a voice for the community. But I also want to take a moment to congratulate each and every one of you, because everyone who attended today will receive a CPD accreditation. This is a fantastic recognition of your engagement, your commitment, and the time you've invested in these important discussions. And I'd just like to say, well done. Thank you again for your time, your contribution, your dedication to improve healthcare. And I'm looking forward to continuing these important discussions with you all. Thank you very much. And thanks for listening to me. Good night.